Amy-Eloise Neal from Glacier Peak. She's in lane 4 in the white top.
So what's going on at the front? Markovc now really starting to power away from home.
My name's Amy-Eloise Markovc and I am a runner for On, and I focus on the 5K and 10K. I started running when I was 6 years old. I went to my first training session just because a family friend was going, and basically as much as I remember is that I liked it, so I kept going, and I never really did any other sports, to be honest. And yeah, I just loved it from an early age, and I was good at it from an early age, and kind of never really explored anything else. I think part of it was that when you are naturally inclined to something, you're going to pursue it. Like, it's fun to be the boys, especially when you're younger. And I found like I struggled a bit more with the hand-eye coordination sport, so I just like naturally leaned that way. But yeah, I just really enjoyed, I just enjoyed the feeling of running and racing and competing and getting the most out of myself. And so yeah, and my parents were supportive of that, and so that's kind of the direction I went in, and I never really questioned it. Obviously I had some harder times later on, but when I was younger it was just all running all the time, loved it. It was like every race was life and death. Very serious about it.
Nice job, Amy-Eloise!
Markovc now really starting to power away from home.
I mean, when I was younger, I was very good, and I had the dreams, you know, the Olympic dreams and that sort of thing. And I didn't really know running pro was an option, but I had dreams of doing it at the highest level. And I think kind of as I got older and went through some ups and downs, just as I was growing and you know, going through high school and then going into university, I've lost sight of that a little bit. And so I don't think I really believe that I could do this at the professional level and, you know, have the potential to make an Olympic team again, kind of until later on in my collegiate career in the NCAA. Well, for me, it was really the only option I considered. I was living out there at the time, so it made the most sense for me. So I ended up going to the University of Washington, which was only about an hour from where I was living before university. But yeah, I was attracted to the NCAA just because, especially going to high school in the US, like there's so much talk about collegiate sport, and like in the Pac-12 and everything, the conferences. Yeah, I just wanted to be able to be a part of a really deep team, and I wanted to like train with the best and get the most out of myself. I wouldn't say it's necessarily right for everyone. Obviously, it's a very intense environment to be in. So I wouldn't say like, you know, to be a successful runner in the UK, like you have to go over to the US. I think it's only right for a certain amount of people.
Amy-Eloise Neal, her first appearance today, and coast to the finish line.
But despite the uphill climb of rehab, Neal never gave up.
What is it about On that was most attractive to you?
I think there's a couple of things. Part of it was they were supportive of me doing what I needed to do, being coached by who I needed to be coached, where I needed to be. And I think that flexibility in terms of like choosing all the pieces that make up the environment that's going to make me the most successful was really important to me, instead of being in a situation where you're put into a group and all of those things are decided for you. Like, I think there's something very meaningful in choosing those things yourself and then having a company support you in making those decisions. But the other part of it was they're just very engaged, like very responsive to like athlete feedback and all those things. And it's just I find it's like a closer athlete sponsorship relationship than I've had previously. For example, the new carbon flats, which didn't come out until after I'd signed, so I didn't get to try those before. Those are the only carbon flats that have ever worked for me. Like, I've tried other brands when I was unsponsored, and I really struggled to find ones that worked for me in my stride. Like, some just loaded up my quads too much, some just didn't feel responsive, some made my feet feel really hot, and like all of these different things, whereas I put on the On flats and they were like perfect. And so I think it's really cool to have the product that you don't have to worry about in terms of a performance standard, and you just get it and you're like, oh, I like these. And the fact of the matter is they're just getting better so quickly. Last year was my first time running this event, and the atmosphere was just amazing. And there's nothing that can prepare you for that, because the crowds are so close compared to a stadium. Like, there's so much more connection, and it's so loud, and everyone's excited for a 10K in a way that you don't get anywhere else. So when you are going to have those inevitable rough patches, it keeps you going. And to be honest, it's just cool how they make it into a very social event, and they just make it really interesting throughout the night for all the levels of races as well. It's not just about the elite races, it's about all the other races that have come before in the day. Honestly, since I ran it last year, I've just been wanting to come back and have another chance to go and race well and experience Night of the 10Ks. So I think it's a really cool opportunity, and even more special now that it's being supported by On, and I'm an On athlete. Yeah, I think this particular race, I don't feel as much pressure. I say that now, maybe that'll change tomorrow, but I know that I can run a lot faster than my PB, so I feel like there's more internal pressure, if anything, because I know, I know what I'm capable of, and I know what my sessions have been telling me. But at the same time, I think it's really important for me on race day that I focus on enjoying it. This is something I do because I love to do it. I don't do this because it's, the most lucrative and the longest career you can do, I do it because I want to do it for as long as I can, to the best ability I can, and because I love it. I feel like now I've gotten a good handle on okay, let's just stay relaxed, let's enjoy it, let's just control what we can control and do it the best you can on the day.
Yeah.
Who am I looking at? Am I looking at you?
Yeah. Just have a conversation.
Just checking.
Give us your raw first impressions of how the race went, how it unfolded.
Yeah, I think I'm not gutted. I'm not thrilled, I'd say. A PB is a PB, and I can't be disappointed in that. Last 2 years I've ran 31:25, ran 31:25 again last year, so I'm glad I didn't run that again this year. So So PB is a PB, but I think I just, I was really confident going into this that I could like hit 74s based on my training, like 74s mid. I was really confident about that. Up front, obviously the pacing was a bit faster, it was like 73 high, and I decided to go with it and just take a risk because I felt like I didn't want to just be time trialing by myself. Unfortunately, just couldn't hang on to that as long as I wanted to, and like I'm glad I took a shot at it, but unfortunately just like fell off a bit there and then paid for it later. So I think, you know, when you're towing that line between being brave and being smart, I maybe crossed over the line a bit too far in the beginning of the race and been a bit more patient. I'm definitely like more of a negative splitter. So yeah, definitely a different experience out there today, just going out on that really hot pace. But like I said, it's a learning experience, and to be honest, I just know how much today is going to help me for the rest of the season. Like this 10K work has makes me a lot stronger for that 5K. So when I would run a 5K in a few weeks, hopefully that strength is going to pay off. I mean, I kind of naturally fell off a little bit. I was feeling pretty good, pretty smooth, but then I could just feel my legs, it was just building up a bit quicker than you want it to in a 10. I was just trying to focus on staying really relaxed through 5K, and I just knew just staying on that 73 pace, I was just going in a little too deep for where I'm at. Unfortunately, then I fell off a bit too much and then tried to latch on to the next group, and just, you know how it is when you hit those rough patches. So fell off definitely a lot more than I wanted to. Wish I had a bit more to bring back those last few laps.
What does it feel like when you're in the women's elite race? You've got, you know, you're like 5, 6, 7 people deep down that home straight.
It's mad.
What does it feel like for yourself?
It's actually it's a lot, and I think in the early stages of the race it's really easy to waste energy. You know, like I'm a country girl, I'm not like super into crowds, so I think for me it's like really focusing on just staying calm, and like even the warm up, it's like a madhouse here. So just making sure I'm keeping making sure I'm like bringing myself down a bit, and not like some races you have to hype yourself up. This is not one of them. You need to make sure you're quite calm going into it. So yeah, it's great atmosphere, and I definitely hit some rough patches, and the crowd definitely helped me. It was pretty cool this year actually. I heard a lot of Amy's being shouted, which I kind of haven't heard the last few years. So that was you know, makes it special.
Yeah, lovely. And so finally, what's next for yourself? You mentioned you got a 5K potentially coming up.
June 10th at the Next On event, which I'm really excited for. So that will go to France for that. Hopefully run a fast 5K. I've got the standard for that, so it relieves a little bit of pressure. I just really want to show good form and just race, and obviously when I run a quick time, really want to go for a PB, but at the same time, like a little less pressure there, just focus on competing.
What would be your number one piece of advice for young women trying to get into athletics as a career?
Stick with it, keep having fun with it, because the moment you feel like you're not having fun and it's not play and it's just work all the time, it like takes away from it. So just make sure you're still having fun with it, stick with it, and just be patient. Like I've had lots of ups and downs. I've had ups and downs over my whole career. I've had ups and downs over this year, and you kind of can't judge one week off the next. So just really be patient and just kind of go with the flow, stick with it, and if you love it, just do it. It's not too bad. I'm sorry I jumped over a fence earlier. I was like, oh yeah, they were trying to follow me. I was like, if this is how I was trying to lose a tail, this is how I do it. Cool, I've got to go cool down a little bit before then. Yeah. Thank you very much. So good to meet you guys. Sorry if it looks like I'm sweating.
No,
it's because I am.
If it doesn't get used, can you still send me the clip?
Yeah.
Just for the memories?